It's December 6, 2023. Behind me, a small vigil is being held to commemorate the Polytechnique massacre, which happened on this day, where 14 women were killed and 13 were injured. The ISQ project, who has organized this vigil, is reminding people about the violence that continues against not just women, but trans, girls, two-spirit people, and gender-diverse women. Among them, Indigenous women who still remain murdered or missing.
Hayatoma kwe manito wiyuna hene. Hayatoma kwe manito wiyuna hene. Hayatoma kwe manito wiyuna hene yuwe. Hayatoma kwe manito wiyuna hene. Hayatoma kwe manito wiyuna hene. Hayatoma kwe manito wiyuna hene. Hayatoma kwe manito wiyuna hene no way. Hayatoma kwe manito wiyuna hene. Hayatoma kwe manito wiyuna hene. Hayatoma kwe manito wiyuna hene no way. Hayatoma kwe manito wiyuna hene. Hayatoma kwe manito wiyuna hene. Hayatoma kwe manito wiyuna hene. Hayatoma kwe manito wiyuna hene no way. Good jam. That song it's a bear song, and we call upon that bear to help out the relatives that in their grieving process, for the ones that they lost in their life, to kind of guide them in a good way and protect them, and wherever they go, wherever they are, that they're going to be okay, that we want everything to be okay for them. We have that consideration and thoughts of those relatives. And the ones that are gone in the spiritual, that they're guiding them mentally and emotionally and spiritually, physically. So I want to say Kukstam. Thank you. All my relations. Thank you.
I want to start tonight off by acknowledging the families and friends and survivors who are here tonight for your presence, and for those who aren't here. A lot of the survivors and families wanted to be here and took some time to grieve, but weren't able to be here tonight. So we just send a lot of love and gratitude and light to the families and survivors that we work with. So my name is Laura Aguirre. I'm the coordinator of the Ishkwe project. My coworker Janice Kavavo-Bibo wasn't able to be here tonight, but she really wishes that she was. So I just want to start off by acknowledging kind of where we're situated right now in Cabot Square, the structural abandonment of Indigenous women, girls, trans, and two-spirit people. The fact that nobody has really talked about the closure of Chez Doris and how abandoned these women truly have been. It's extremely heartbreaking. I just want to read a brief statement from Ishkwe. From November 25th to December 10th, we commemorate the 16 days of action against gender-based violence to encourage action and awareness to end all forms of gender-based violence in Canada. This period includes the National Day of Action and Remembrance on Violence Against Women in honor of the 14 women who were murdered on December 6th in 1989 at École Polytechnique. In honor of this day and Ishkwe's work to end and prevent race-based and gender-based violence, we are here tonight to honor those survivors, families, and friends. This National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women is particularly timely this year, given the increase in violence against women, girls, trans, and two-spirit people, particularly those who are unhoused. In addition to this increase in violence, we have observed the abandonment of Indigenous women, girls, trans, and two-spirit people who are part of the Cabot Square community. Instead of being met with additional support that meets survivors where they are at in their grief, Indigenous women, girls, trans, and two-spirit people who are facing violence also face extremely high levels of barrings and service restrictions from shelters and frontline community organizations throughout Montreal. Police response to incidences of violence against Indigenous women, girls, trans, and two-spirit people in Cabot Square is almost non-existent. Cabot Square faces a great deal of over-policing, including in the form of mixed squads with community frontline workers and police. The over-policing of Cabot Square has pushed unhoused people, particularly unhoused women, Indigenous women, into more invisible situations like alleyways, abandoned buildings, motels, apartment buildings. This has severely restricted Ishkwe's contact with Indigenous survivors facing violence and has pushed them into a more dangerous situation where there is no one to bear witness to their violence. In solidarity with Indigenous women, girls, trans, and two-spirit people, and the families and survivors that we work with at Ishkwe, we call for an end to all forms of race-based and gender-based violence against Indigenous women, girls, trans, and gender-diverse people. We would like to close by reminding everyone here tonight that Indigenous women, girls, trans, and two-spirit people are not just victims of violence. Each person holds so much life and so much potential, and each person deserves real opportunities to lead a full and safe life, especially Indigenous women, girls, trans, and two-spirit people in this city who are among the most marginalized. So next, we're going to be having a moment of silence for the 14 women who were murdered at the École Polytechnique massacre. And then I will read the names of Indigenous women, girls, trans, and two-spirit people who were murdered in Quebec or who are missing. So if you would like to light your candle or not, it's totally up to you, but... Jackie Avalodjuak, Salamiva Ilamaswat, Stephanie Kitchen, Rangi Tukai, Katsuak Yaituk, Anna Natasha Asapa, Alasi Tokiapik, Cindy Wabananik, and Anita Adams. And I would also like to remember the missing women: Donna Pare, Linda Charlie Krishner Ukaituk, Cindy Rupert House, Maisie Ojik, and Shannon Alexander. So I'd like to just have a moment of silence for those women. So I would now like to open the floor if anyone would like to share any words or anyone has anything to say in regards to tonight, or just anything weighing on you, anything sitting with you. But no? Okay. Okay. So I'll turn it back to you, Delbert, our final prayer.
Wait, with substance. Say, Kuksama Kukla, or Malama, Kuksama Kukla, wait with substance. Wakwanta Kuk, there's Tramamo, Wakwanta Kuk, wait with substance. We say, Kuksama Kukla, slice, Kuksama Kukla, yes. Kuksama Kukla, Kania Hagas. So just giving thanks to the Creator for our ancestors that are here, to kind of help the ones that are still here, to kind of guide us in their spiritual ways, kind of help us with our healing, or anything that we need to do to kind of take care of our hearts that have been broken, and kind of help to mend that up. I was saying in my language to have pity for all of our relatives in that way, because it's not easy when you lose loved ones. It's very hard. It's like a piece of your heart has been taken, and it's irreplaceable. So I was asking the Creator to watch over those relatives, and I was asking the Creator to have pity on our children, the ones that were left behind, that they're going to be okay. I asked the Creator to watch over them and protect them in that way with our medicines, to kind of help them on their journeys while they're here, that they can continue their daily life. I was giving thanks for our grandfathers and our grandmothers, the ones that are still here. They guide us, and they kind of show us a good way how to live, even though all these things that are happening in our life, to kind of guide us on our journeys, the things that we require for ourselves, to kind of take care of ourselves in that way, in that spiritual way. We give thanks for all these medicines, that sage that will help you with that comfort from the losses that you might be carrying, but also to feel safe at the same time. That cedar that helps to protect us. Say that cedar is a protector from any kind of negative spirits that might be trying to influence you. They say that cedar is strong, and it'll chase them away. It'll give you that protection. You can make tea with that, and it'll help you with your health, and help you with your mind for everything that's happening on your journeys while we're here on this earth. Kind of take care of you in that way. The Creator put all these medicines here because many of the times when things happen like this in our life, there's no words that can kind of comfort us. So we burn these medicines. These medicines will kind of help you. The songs we have, they have the words that we don't have as a human being, for the comfort that some of us need in our lives. So we want to give thanks to the Creator for providing all these things here that on this earth that help us. All those animals and birds that give us those signs that our relatives are still here with us in our hearts. They're with us 24/7. So we want to give thanks for this way of life, this traditional way of life. All of my prayers are that we have more ceremonies happening, more sweats happening, more circles, more things in these traditional ways that kind of help and protect us. So alcohol and drugs is not required, but we have our ways to kind of help ourselves in the community. So this is my prayer, that these prayers get stronger in this way, because I always like to think that Our next generations are very important to us. And we need to kind of make sure all these things come back into our lives, these spiritual ways, keeping that light strong and keeping those prayers strong. And this is what's going to help us on our journeys while we're here on this earth. And the Creator gave us that thousands of years ago. We have forgotten that, some of us. But we want to bring those back and help others to feel good in that way and help with the healing and the journeys that some of us might be having difficult times with. Kind of help to comfort those ones that need that comfort. So I say, Kukstam. Thank you, all my relations.
Yeah, we hope that you carry the names of these women with you, and we'll do our best to honor them. I think given how cold it is, we'll probably finish now, but thank you all so much for coming. Thank you. I hope people are starting to realize that Quebec is not free of the MMIWG2S plus crisis, and that this crisis persists particularly in Quebec, particularly in Cabot Square, which is why we held the vigil here tonight. So, I was in Cabot Square throughout the day, and it really does bring up a lot of emotions for people. People really opened up about the loss of their loved ones, families, family members, friends, sort of street family as well, chosen family. I think it's so often with MMIWG 2S+, deaths, disappearances, families don't have a time or space to grieve because they have to fight the legal system. They have to fight with police to take these cases seriously, to listen to them at all. And so I think it is really important to just offer people a chance to grieve, and also to let families know that hey, we are hosting this day. You don't have to come, but someone besides you, it's not just your fight to sort of carry on, that there are other people out there who do care about your loved one.
I think today was definitely overcast by sadness and by loss. Just standing next to some participants who have experienced members who have been murdered, who are missing, I think it's overwhelming grief and the knowledge that, Canada doesn't necessarily care about their relatives and people that they know and love, and just sadness of remembering these people. I think there was a little sense of community, but definitely what I was feeling was more sadness.